Hi, this is your host. And today, we're going to discuss a creepy shadow moving on its own. If you like this kind of stuff, then make sure to hit that subscribe button so you never miss an episode. Also, if you would like to submit a story, there will be instructions at the end of this episode. I was camping with my boyfriend and our 2 dogs in a remote area of Yosemite National Park. We had hiked several miles into the woods and set up camp beside a beautiful clear stream that ran over flat stones. The sun was setting, and we were busy getting dinner started when we heard loud splashes in the water. Curious, we looked up and saw one of our dogs swimming vigorously in the middle of the stream. This was strange because neither of our dogs could swim and they hated water. The dog was yelping, and it didn't look like he was trying to get out of the water or like he was struggling, just kept swimming around and around in circles. We called him out, but he didn't respond. It almost looked like he was trying to escape something, but from what? We couldn't imagine anything in the water that would be able to grab him. There was no way a bear or cougar would be in the stream at this time of day. We had taken every precaution not to leave any food or trash out. The water was only about 3 feet deep, and there were no large rocks or logs that he could have been cornered by. The more we watched, the creepier it became. There was no logical explanation for why our dog would do this. Finally, the dog came out of the water shaking himself off and trotted over to us, acting like nothing had happened. I scratched him behind the ears and asked if he was all right. He wagged his tail and licked my hand before running back to the water and swimming some more. My boyfriend and I looked at each other and shrugged, deciding that we were probably imagining things and that the dog was just fine. Maybe he'd seen a fish or some other small animal in the water and decided to go for a swim. We finished dinner and settled down to watch the sunset. But within a few minutes, we heard more splashing. We turned and saw our other dog now in the water and acting in exactly the same manner as the first. She was making little yelping noises and swimming in circles, not trying to get out, not trying to attack anything, just swimming aimlessly. We were pretty scared at this point and started yelling at her to come out of the water, but she wouldn't listen. This continued until both dogs were exhausted, and eventually they climbed out of the water and came to us, shaking themselves dry. They seemed completely normal after this, and didn't exhibit any signs of fear or anxiety. We still couldn't figure out why they were behaving this way. Honestly, we were too afraid to find out. We quickly packed up our things and headed back to the car. As soon as we were safely inside the car, my boyfriend and I started discussing what we had just witnessed. The entire experience was so bizarre. The dogs had acted like they were trying to warn us about something, but warn us about what? Both of them had acted almost as if they were trying to get our attention and lead us away from the campsite. But why? Had they sensed something dangerous nearby? Was there a predator stalking us while we sat at our camp, oblivious to the danger? We made several trips into the woods over the summer and had never had any problems. In fact, we had even camped near the same spot a month earlier without any incidents. So why now? We agreed to keep driving until we reached a well-populated campground. Then we would decide what to do next. After a few hours of sleep, we woke up and started making breakfast. Still, neither of us could come up with a good explanation for the dog's behavior. It was still too early to check our messages, so we decided to try calling a friend who knew the area well and had camped there many times. She answered on the second ring. "Hey, how are you? Did you get my message?" "No, what's wrong?" "Where are you? You need to get out of there right now." Her voice was filled with urgency. "What? What's going on? Is everything okay?" A group of hikers came through our campsite last night. They said they were heading further into the woods to check out an old mining shaft that had recently collapsed. They warned us that there had been a mountain lion in the area and told us to leave first thing in the morning. We thanked her for calling and quickly finished our breakfast. As we were packing up, I noticed something strange. In the dirt surrounding the fire pit, there were a number of small pebbles that were not there the evening before. They had formed a small circle around the pit. I didn't think much of it at the time, and assumed that they had just been dislodged by the recent rain. On the drive out, my boyfriend and I discussed what we should do. We were torn. On one hand, we wanted to report the incident to the park rangers, but on the other, we didn't want to seem like we were overreacting. Mountain lions are rarely seen in the park, and attacks are even more rare. We had never even seen a mountain lion in all the years we had spent hiking in the woods. When we finally reached the main road, we spotted a ranger and decided to tell him about the mountain lion sighting. He listened patiently and then asked if we had seen the actual animal, or if we had just been told about it by other campers. When we explained that we had only been told about it, he said that it was most likely just a rumor started by overly cautious campers, and that there was no need for us to be alarmed. We thanked him for his help and continued on our way. However, we decided not to tell anyone else about the mountain lion until we got home. We didn't want to spread a false alarm and cause unnecessary panic. That night, I couldn't stop thinking about the incident. The more I thought about it, the more convinced I became that there was something out there watching us. I tried to convince myself that it was just a big cat, but it didn't make sense. Why would a mountain lion stay in the area after we left? Normally, they would simply move on and find somewhere else to hunt. I also couldn't get the image of the pebbles arranged in a circle out of my mind. It was such a strange detail, and I couldn't think of any reason why they would have been there. Maybe it was just a coincidence, but what if it wasn't? Could it be a sign of something more sinister lurking in the woods? As the days passed, I tried to put the incident out of my mind, but every time I closed my eyes, I could see the shadow of the dog swimming in the water and hear its faint yelps echoing in my ears. I couldn't shake the feeling that we had been so close to danger and had no idea. Then one day, while looking through our photos, I noticed something that made my blood run cold. In one of the pictures I had taken of the campsite, there was a dark shape in the background that I had never seen before. At first, I thought it was just a log or a rock formation, but as I looked closer, I realized that it was neither. It was the shadow of one of our dogs. But where had he been? In the photo, he was standing directly behind me in the camera, perfectly still and staring directly at me. But I had never seen him there. How could I have missed him when I took the picture? Was he trying to warn me about something? Or was he just standing there coincidentally? Dodd, the mystery of the shadow dog still haunts me to this day. Thank you for listening. If you enjoyed this episode, then make sure to hit that subscribe button so you never miss an episode. Also, if you would like to submit a story, please send an email to the address provided below. I look forward to hearing from you. Thank you.